Happy holiday Labor Day weekend.
That's right. I'm
I
happy
was,
for it.
I always get excited about holiday weekends. I know that's probably not the social norm for traders, but give me my time off.
That's what I'm saying, man. I don't mind having some time off.
Hell no. I hope you're
Hey,
saying let's go about the holiday weekend because yes, let's go.
what's up, man?
Oh, Slick Trader. What up?
Happy to have you here.
Yes, indeed. All right. So I need, I do this quite often. It's an easy plug. Plus, it gives me time to get my drink. I'm going to do the intro thing, grab my drink, and then I got the best opening video of all time. After the intro. All right. After the intro. Then best video of all time. Here we go. I really like your name.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah. I love that.
It's clever wordplay. I'm always a fan of stuff like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so I want to play this video, but before I play the video, a tiny bit of backstory for those that watch this, are watching this, whatever, you or I. We all know the ticker MULN. I say Mulan, Mullen. I don't know how you pronounce it. I like to call it Mulan because Disney, I guess. Whatever.
I was about to say it sounds like a Disney movie.
Yeah, but I think 3 months ago this thing was trading in the 6s or 7s. Prior to that, it was even higher. It's ultimately a meme stock. It's a piece of shit company. We know this. We've shorted it numerous times because we know the end game. And the CEO has been known to dilute, reverse split, pay himself. Company fails. We've seen this 1,000 times over.
It's just crazy how much publicity they have, I think.
It is. And it's because I think it's a meme stock. So yesterday, the CEO, David Michery, I think is how you say his name, went on Fox Business, which is also kind of a joke sometimes, to basically say the reason their stock price is down is because illegal shorting, brokers are conspiring against him, short sellers are evil, it's all their fault. It is not the fault of Mulan. The first half of the interview is that. The second half of the interview, Charles Payne actually pushes him a little bit, and it gets quite hilarious. And I have to show this because, like, seriously, this is comedy. I gotta turn the music off.
I want to see it. I haven't even watched it all.
Oh, dude, just let me do that. All right. Let me pull it up here. All right. So, like I said, this is the second half of the interview. The whole first half was, short sellers are evil, blah, blah, blah. But then Charles Payne, the guy in the middle, starts pushing. David Michery is the guy on the left. The lawyer's the guy on the right. Starts pushing him about some touchy things. And I just want you to watch this. I got secondhand embarrassment. Anyway, let me just play it. It's only a couple minutes.
Now to the company, a lot of concerns about your salary, the losses. I went through the last quarter. One thing that jumped out at me on general and administrative spending, $31 million, just as a business itself. Why are you spending $31 million on SG&A costs and things like that?
Well, we're a growing business. Obviously, this is a space where it's very expensive to get a vehicle.
Yeah, that's the research and development side. I got you, but the general and administrative costs to me are just outlandish. And particularly, here's the thing: people are saying you've taken a lot of money, you paid yourself a lot of money, and this kind of spending, it just doesn't make sense for a small company like yours.
Well, in relation to, let's say, compensation, whatever compensation that was awarded me and my employment contract, our compensation pursuant to awards were given. And
David, can you hear me? All right, you're fading out, and I've got 20 seconds. One last thing: these stock splits. Okay, I read your firm. What the firm is saying is that these stock splits were done to stay compliant with Nasdaq listings. But every time you split your stock, it becomes fodder for the shorts. I mean, when you go 1 for 25 and then one for authorized, 1 for 100, you do 1 for 9. We know that the shorts pounce. So, folks, it looks like we're having some audio issues with David. We're running out of time. We'll pick this up again. We want to go over these stock splits, which to me,
Audio issues. Get the fuck out of here.
That is
Those are the
ridiculous.
companies we short, for the record. Companies like that are the companies that we're shorting. What a joke.
That's
Dude,
hilarious.
I seriously was like getting secondhand embarrassment just watching that video. It's just cringy. Like audio issues when you're talking about your pay. And then Charles Payne, he was talking about stock splits, but it's reverse splits, right? They're doing like these crazy, like you said, 1 for 100 or 1 for 10, whatever, to stay compliant. And oh man, it's just hilarious. His right-hand person pulled the plug to save their CEO. Yeah, basically. That's exactly
probably
what
so.
that was.
Probably so.
Like he got asked one tough question is like, what? So, I'm going to take note of that though, because if you or I are ever doing this type of thing and somebody asks a hard question, if I suddenly have audio issues, just know that it's legit. I mean, obviously
Exactly.
Fox Business is going to have audio issues. Anyway, I just thought that was hilarious.
I love it.
Like, oh man. And the way it ended, I wish he would have hung on for those reverse splits, because I would have loved to heard his explanation as to why they've done so many and these humongous reverse splits. I would have loved to hear it.
Massive dilution.
But the thing is, and we've said this before on numerous of these, some of my best plays this year have been shorting the reverse splits, especially that first pop. And your boy Charles, he's been killing them this year.
Dude,
he hit the one today.
Reverse splits are like, that's like Charles's play, because he didn't even do a whole lot of small cap trading for. He used to, and then he kind of I think he kind of got tired of paying locate fees and just some of the wild moves we had in like summer of 22, and he kind of just went back to doing what he used to do, just trading indexes and larger market cap stuff. But man, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come back to trading some small caps, and he's just murdering it just the whole
those
year.
Reverse splits, man, that's been money this year. This whole year, it's just, I shouldn't say it's been a great play for a long time.
Dude, this has been my most consistent and good year as far as capitalizing on some of those kind of plays.
Yeah, well, he posted his chart today. Like SQL, I think. I could be having the ticker wrong, but he murdered it. This thing reverse split, and he got like 8 or 9 points a share off that short, off the reverse split.
He doesn't go crazy huge, like he'll make a couple $1,000 and call it a day. And dude, I've told you about him. He doesn't even have to trade, but
right,
But
those are the kind of companies that we're shorting. We ain't out here shorting any. Well, we will. I'm not saying we won't short Microsoft or Amazon, but that's just more of a pattern thing. Mulan, you short because the fundamentals are shit. Exactly. And the CEO is that guy. Anyway,
it's pretty damn funny.
That shit was hilarious, man. Seriously, secondhand embarrassment. Anyway, it was a wild week. So this was my first week back trading in like forever. I took a lot of time off over the summer. I come back this week, or was it last week? I can't remember. I came back recently, but this week in particular, there was some wild moves.
Oh man, there was some awesome moves this week. I wish I could have capitalized on it a little bit better, but
same. And I didn't trade today. Tomorrow or this weekend is my 1-year wedding anniversary, so I had a honeydew list to do today before we celebrate over the weekend. So I didn't get to trade today, but I saw some of the moves from today, and I'm just like, damn, it was a good week. I can't say there's lack of action. I wouldn't say that. As a matter of fact, when I traded, with you on Thursday, I think I even put in the room, like, I have too many tickers on my screen. There was
Oh,
like
dude,
a
that
lot
morning
going
was
on.
great. There was so much going on. It's been nice.
So you or I didn't trade this, but I just want to show it because I think this particular ticker kind of just sums up this week in a nutshell, maybe, if that's a good way to put it.
Oh yeah,
dude, this thing, we've seen these type of moves before, but
I've traded this ticker before.
yeah, like you both have, but this is, I don't know what the float is off the top of my head. Super low float.
It's like 300,000 or something like that.
Yeah, and also very illiquid.
Oh, and I take that back. I texted you about this yesterday. I don't. Out of one of those halts, I located 5 shares just for the hell of it.
just to throw some money at it.
I just wanted it 5 shares, and I shorted. I got filled out of this halt right here. I'm it's like for the 40 at like $41 or something like that, and dude, I think I paid like $2 a share to locate it. It was really just kind of like for fun.
Yeah, just to do it.
But I got kind of nervous.
Hell yeah, I got nervous.
Well, I mean, it was 5 shares. I was just like, whatever, you know. But I got nervous because it halted again. It halted either down or up, and it was halted for like 10 minutes, then 14 minutes, and like 16 minutes, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, what if this just like does like an EDT or EDXT, whatever it was, the one that was crazy interest. I'm like, man, like
but
what
that's
if
the thing on these, man. Like this thing went from 10 to during market hours almost 70, and then I think shorts, if anybody shorted it right in here, and you know the 50 to 60 area are probably feeling pretty good when this massive halt down happened all the way back into the 30s. And then going into after hours, it goes into the high 80, well, low 80s. But I mean, this is nuts.
Yeah, I covered into that third green candle when it after, because I thought it was just gonna die, and it did not, and I lost on it. I mean, like a few dollars, but like it was.
But this is the type of stuff that will literally take you out of the game.
Oh,
like if you're not careful. One, it's a nano float, super low volume. And I don't care if you have, let's just say you have a decent size. Let's say you have 1,000 shares. Let's say you have 500, right? But something this low volume, when it's doing this halt the whole way up, you can't get out.
Oh no, man! I saw several people that got screwed on it. I never screenshot the chart, but I did Snapchat a picture of it to Charles, where I don't know if you can see that there.
A little bit, yeah.
Where I mean, it was just a tiny little position, and I got out of it. Luckily,
but that was with, you know, what'd you say, 5 shares just messing around?
Yeah, man, I was already done for the day, and I was like, I'm just gonna play with this.
Yeah.
And I was like,
5
man,
shares, you can probably get in and out of that pretty quick. But you got 500, even let alone 1,000 shares, you're gonna get skipped numerous times, and I guarantee when you get out, it's gonna be at the top. Like, this is scary. This will take you out of the game real quick, let alone after hours. Like if you try to short it again, like in this 60 area, thinking, okay, it's gonna fade off hard after hours, and then you get caught in that, dude. I'm sure this took some people out of the game. I mean, maybe not out of the game. Well, maybe out of the game, but it probably put a beating on their accounts. I mean, we know some guys that, yeah, I think so too. He's pretty transparent about his stuff, and he said he got stuck on that. Which
he was. I was in his chat that day when it was happening, and he was talking like he was pretty upset, but I thought he was just joking. You know?
I can't ever tell with him. He's so dry humor.
Yeah, I like that guy though. Have no idea who he is. But,
yeah, I did see one guy that longed this. I can't remember who it was, but even I know it was a killer long trade, but I wouldn't trade this long, short, sideways. I wouldn't touch it. Not with any real legitimate size, because
oh hell no.
Let's just say you are long, right? You long in the 50s or 60s, and then it goes another 10 points, and then it just tanks 30 point. Like it. Yeah,
dude, I mean
you
you could lose your ass on this long too. Like,
oh yeah,
man,
this thing long, mentioned, like if you chased it long in the 50s and 60s, this unhalt, if you were long, it's scary as hell.
That could blow you. I mean, yeah, it could blow you up if you took huge size, you know?
So anyway, I just wanted to show that.
Imagine taking 1,000 shares up there. I mean, you could 1,000 shares. That'd be huge, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to share that because I feel like that summed up some of the craziness we were seeing this week.
I mean, another big one was ICCT. I know for a fact that one took several guys out of the game. That dude, Sharp Capital,
Yep, I saw
67
that.
or whatever. He deleted his Twitter. I know. I'm not going to name other names of the other guy that we know that took a big loss on it because that would be.
Doesn't matter. He don't show it. He only shows his wins, so it doesn't matter.
Well, anyway.
Anyway, and I don't trade stuff like that either. ICCT or whatever it was. I just the SPACs and all that. If I'm trading those, I can guarantee you it's less than 100 shares, maybe 100 shares. I'm not ever touching that stuff with any real significant size, let alone probably even trading it. I just don't trade it.
I mean, for me, okay, so like you saw, I showed what I did with it. I mean, it was just kind of like a little something that crazy, man. Like I used to would trade stuff like that, and I've traded ADTX a few times this year actually, because there's been some other days where it's moved quite a bit. Like we were saying, it was a reverse split.
Yeah, I think the times we traded ADTX, it was a little more of a viable setup with a little more liquidity.
It was like a gap.
I mean, yeah, when something's up 600%, I'm just not going to touch it either way, especially when it's nano. Just too many things could be a disaster. And for me, ICCT, I just don't like messing with those new IPOs or those SPAC charts. I just
yeah, man, like I'll like I might play around, like gamble a little bit with the SPAC chart with like small size, just if I'm feeling like it, whatever small size.
We've done that before and we've joked about it, right? We've taken 100 shares of some random ass SPAC, either long or short, just kind of, again, not recommending people do this, but it was, just kind of for fun thing, pretty limited exposure with 100 shares or whatever we were doing. But I don't ever trade stuff like that with any real significant size. It's just not, hell no. Shit, that'll blow you up, long or short. Them things
even
are
if you have
scams.
Even if you have a broker max loss in place, there's, certain situations where they might not be able to get you out fast enough, like if you're trading, say, like 30K on an account and, something was just, you took too much size and it was just absolutely wild. I mean, you could potentially lose 5K, 7K.
Or it could be like EDTX where it got halted for days on end. And every day that it was halted, the people stuck short in that have to pay an exorbitant amount of interest to the point where it wiped some guys out. Actually, where they owed their broker. Like, that stuff is sketchy. I just don't fool with it. But anyway,
yeah, man. I mean, I shouldn't even. That's why I told you when ADTX yesterday halted for like 14 or 16 minutes, whatever it was. I was expecting, after it didn't unhalt after 5 minutes, I was like, okay, it's a 10-minute halt, and then I was like, oh no. After 10 minutes was up, I'm looking at my computer screen and I'm like, I was like, this isn't good. And you remember I was texting you. I was like, oh man, this thing hasn't unhalted.
And that's with just 5 shares.
Oh, I know. And I'm thinking, that was an expensive borrow. And then I was like going and looking at how much the borrow was after that, and it was like $9 now. And I was like, oh no. I mean, crazy. It wouldn't be. I mean, it wouldn't. That that on 5 shares wouldn't put me out of the game, but I'd be like, it'd just be another stressor for like.
Oh yeah, it's just not worth it, man. There's no legitimate edge to be had there, in my opinion, at least for us. For me, yeah.
And you gotta have a feel for how the market is. If shit like that's happening left and right, like, the chances of it happening again, to me, are more likely. But I mean, stuff comes out of nowhere all the time.
Yeah, I would.
So just have your plan for what you trade. If you don't trade micro floats, if you don't trade SPACs, don't trade them. If you don't stuff with limited history.
Yeah, I don't like stuff that doesn't have a solid daily. It just especially SPACs, man. We've known SPACs since the Shea Moth days have been pretty scammy.
But on the other hand, though, something I will trade that was also a reverse split, gapping up, making a crazy move, was SQL. Hang on.
Next day pre-market dipped it open and announced that. Yeah. And we know some guys that lost pretty heavy on that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I was just saying, that one dude, Sharp Capital. I mean, he was able to withstand that CXAI move several months ago. Like I don't remember what it went to, like 100 pre-market or something. And he was short from the day before.
Failure Uncharted. I don't know who you are on Twitter and such. Maybe I do, but don't, because your names are different. But I like you.
Yeah, dude. We talk about that all the time. That's our big thing, man. Is like, we're big into. There's no way that you just win all the time. That's not how this shit works, man. Like, we lose all the time. I was about to show a winner, but maybe I'll show a loser.
Show your loser, and I'll show my loser.
All right. So let's see here. I'll show my worst.
We'll start with losers.
Yeah. Let's see my worst loser of the week.
My loser's depressing.
Both of these losers that I was going to show for this week, one of them's like a pretty good loser, even though I still lost a good amount of money. The other one is like just kind of dumb. I'll show my ugliest one first. I didn't even want to post this one. Let's see here, but I did on Twitter, on my new Twitter there with all my following.
I know. I freaking hate that troll one got deleted, but
I know, man. Me too. It pissed me off. Like, I had so much stuff on there. Anyway, NAOV, name I've traded before many times. I mean, this is a pretty big gap in pre-market, and there was a pretty decent little. It was either a daily or hourly level risk, that it failed off of, and in hindsight, me and Mike were talking about it. Mike D, in the room, and he was like, "Yeah, if they fail like that and then they soak, you should probably start thinking about getting out." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right, but." At the time, I was thinking this is going to fade all day, and
I think it has a history of being pretty weak. I could be wrong about that, but I think the gap stats are pretty favorable on it. Which I mean,
I wouldn't have been. I'm sure they are. I wouldn't have been just shorting it if they weren't. I mean, I could be wrong, but I know I've traded this name before, because I've got most of the stocks I trade. I'm pretty good about remembering names. Anyway, so I'd start getting short on this, and I stop out full size, and I'm like, damn it, and then it opens kind of weak, wicks through VWAP, and I was like, I was thinking, everybody in the room at the time, we all kind of had different ideas, but I really wanted to be short on this. I didn't want to miss it. I was being a little too eager, and I saw that wick, and so I was like, let me get all the way back in, full size. And man, then I was like, I'm gonna risk over that wick. Well, then it rips over that, but it kind of wicked here over that level. And I was like, man, I was like, damn. I was like, all right, last time, I'm trying this again. And I got in short again, got all the way back in, full size, and then that thing absolutely ripped on me. Got some massive slippage trying to get out, and I was a couple $100 away from a max loss on that trade.
In hindsight, though, this is just a hindsight thing. Like, looking at the full chart, right? Like, this got really bad. So risk management, was on point.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it could have been really bad.
This thing was pretty. I mean, this thing was up. What did the previous $1.50? So at one point, this thing was up almost 200%.
Yeah, it was close to 200% on the day, if not over. I know this. I think this ripped on a lot of people, man.
Oh yeah, this was brutal. I mean, I think they did a late day offering or something of sorts, but to
It was like a
get
uh,
through the morning, the morning rise, the morning grind, and then there was some afternoon chop. So to catch that backside offering, that's tough.
yeah, and I saw a few people that did, but like I've said this to you before, and I really kind of broke my own rules on this. A lot of people, you and like several other bigger traders that we know, they're like 3 tries for me, and that's it on a ticker, because you're tilted after that. But I was already tilted, man. Like, because it was just ripping me. So like it was ripping me a new one. You know what I mean? And that just
This thing was, I mean, it had some volume. This was nasty. This was a nasty, I mean, you manage your risk. That's all you can do. But yeah, this sucks. Like this is what we're talking about today. Like you got to learn how to lose and just be done with it. So I think the redeeming quality here is you didn't keep fucking with it the second half of the day or on that secondary, even tertiary, whatever that word is, run up. Like you could have gotten chopped the whole way up all the way up to $4.
I mean, and hey, look, it wouldn't have lasted long. I would have got that email. You know what I
Which
mean?
that's why I think you got to have a max loss, because some of my biggest losses isn't from over holding a ticker. It's from death by 1,000 paper cuts. And those paper cuts add up to some insurmountable numbers that was my biggest detriment in years past was that for sure. It wasn't ever over holding and letting something go so far against me. It would be shortcut, 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 and I'd fight it the whole way up. And then before you know it, I'm looking at my P&L and I'm like, holy shit. That was my problem.
That was me. Like about 2 years ago, I was doing more of that. After I was like, all right, I have to manage risk. Because before that, man, I'd have days where I'd be down, 10, 15 grand or something. And I mean, and that's a lot of money for me. And I'd hold it through that, I'm not naming any names, but like say you were short ICCT around $5 and held it all the way through $7 with a few thousand shares. I mean, you're going to be down quite a bit at the top there. And I'd be doing that shit all the time. Now I never do that. Because there was a time where I held a short, kept adding to it, was down 10 grand, came all the way back down where I was up 1,000. I'm like, I'm in so big, I'm gonna hold this. Next thing you know, I'm losing 30. That really happened one time several years ago, and that wasn't cool. So I don't let that happen anymore. But I have had like the days where I lose 5, 6, 7 grand because I'm doing the 1,000 paper cuts thing. Not anymore, but I used to.
Yeah, now I'm pretty good about 3 strikes, I'm out. If I don't have a good read on it, I'm just done with it. Yes, I've missed some backside plays as a result of that, but I think more times than not, just for me personally, it's kept me safe, both profit wise and just sanity wise, whatever. So I am going to keep doing that because it works for me. Some guys would be like, no, that's stupid. Like, just wait until whatever. To each their own. I'm not going to go off on a tangent, but all right, I'm going to show my loser.
Oh, I'm already going off on a tangent. But all I was going to say is I'm trying to not even do the 3 strikes thing. Like 1 or 2 really is all I need to be doing.
Okay. This one, for the record, kind of pisses me off. I think this was maybe my first. This was my first day back. It may have been Monday or Tuesday. I'm not positive which day of the week it was, but this was like my first trade back. I think Tuesday, because I think Monday was my first day back. And I think I just spectated. I just watched. I didn't take any trades. I just spectated and watched things unfold to try to get a feel. But I shared my P&L in the room this day. I don't normally share P&L because I think it's all relative to each individual trader or whatever. But after all this shit, right? I think I made like 40 or 50 bucks. And after fees, it's probably less than that. I may be slightly red on it. The only redeeming quality of this is it was easy to borrow, so I have to pay for locates. But what pisses me off about this was a great opportunity. I don't like to trade every sub-dollar stock that's gapping because of fees, right? Fees on sub dollars will eat you up. But this was easy to borrow, and this was a huge gap. I mean, this thing went from 12 cents up to 40. This was hundreds of percent, gap. So when I see subbies gap that much, I'm really excited about it. But what pisses me off about this for me personally is I typically don't trade pre-market because every fucking time I do, this is what happens. Every single time. I suck at trading pre-market.
I do too.
I don't like it. I shouldn't do it. Of course, my first day back, I do it and I regret it. And this makes me mad because this really negated what could have been a phenomenal trade. I was happy with my entry and literally was risking like a break of, 40 cents. So I was risking like 4 cents. So this was a really nice trade, percent wise, gain wise, whatever. I was out on the core here and I was still holding some from my pre-market here, but this was the big ad. But what really sucks is obviously this sucks, but this was kind of lotto size. So this wasn't the big detriment, but what was the detriment is I let this influence the rest of the trade. I should have taken an ad, maybe in here or somewhere in this ballpark. I should have put on more size when it started confirming what we thought would happen. And if I would have put on more size and covered here, because I think I even said I think this particular day, if I remember right, I had ranged it, my lotto size, and I ranged it at like 26, 27. Well, I remember putting in the room, I lowered the range, right? I put it at like 22 or something because of what happened in pre-market. Anyway, the short of this is my pre-market fuckery influenced my decisions for the rest of the day on both profit taking, on ads, on ranges, on everything. So this could have been a really good first trade back, but I completely botched the opportunity. Actually, I was talking to Sam about it because I think he traded it too. And I think he kind of, I don't know if he took a loss or kind of break even, but we both were just basically upset that we botched the opportunity because it's not very often you see subbies gap up hundreds of percent with this type of liquidity and provide these type of opportunities. They don't happen all the time. So when they do, it's like you got to jump on that. This was a good opportunity that I completely botched the opportunity.
Me and Sam were talking about it too. We talked about it several times, man. He was like, just talking about how he was up a ton on this, and then it ran back on him. I was like, yeah, same here. That trade really pissed me off.
Oh, dude, this was
my chart's very similar.
And it just makes me mad because I normally don't even trade pre-market. Then my first day back, I'm trading pre-market like a dumbass. Like, what is this? This is shit. I don't know what I mean.
Now that I've got my trades like automatically, or I'm importing them into Trader Sync now instead of just like manually tracking like I used to. It's apparent to me I really need to stop trying to enter pre-market because the few times when it works, it doesn't amount for the times when it doesn't.
Yeah, and I never take big size in pre-market, but that chart there, you could see I was in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. So those little trades added up to a pretty big, I was red going into botch the whole thing.
Dude, it does something to my head when I'm red going into open.
Oh, dude, I mean, for 100%. I should have added to that trade. I should have never moved my range order. That could have been a massive trade to start my week back, and I completely botched it. So, I lost on it. It sucks, and is what it is.
Yep. Same way with me.
See, another pre-market. Motherfucking pre-market.
Man, when I saw this candle right here, I was like, oh man, like I've got to start getting in here. It just went a little too high, and then I was like, oh damn it, and I'm getting all the way out. Same thing. I'm like, damn, I'm going into open red.
Yep.
Like a pretty decent little hit, right there in pre-market, and just to watch it just die, right there after that is the worst. So then you're like on edge, you see another little wick, and you're just like, man, that was it. That was the high. or you feel like it was. I'd say no. We know we don't. We know that we don't know, but
Right,
you
right.
feel like it was. And so then I see it open and like start stuffing, and I'm just getting all in, And somebody asked me, they were like, "Why didn't you take any off there?" And I mean, because I wanted to make some money on the trade. I'd already lost, and like I would have made a little money here, but not
And
like I want.
that's exactly what he's talking about. Like our pre-market trades on this particular ticker influenced our decisions during
Yes.
our key time. Pre-market for us, for me specifically, is not my key time.
Oh, it's not mine either at all.
And we let pre-market influence our decisions on an awesome opportunity, because this thing going from 40 cents at open down to 26, 27 cents, that is a huge percent gain for a short. And it's not opportunities. You just don't get those opportunities too often. So missed opportunity, man. Both of us, and that sucks. And we both had a top tick exit, basically, on that particular wick. I think our exits were right there at the same level.
Mine was pretty much a top tick out. Like, on my stuff like this, I usually, unless I leave, and when I leave, it's when I'm already up quite a bit on something, and I might do a range order. But I was there for this one, and I was hitting market orders to get out because this had been a good bit of volume coming back in, and I was like, there's a good bit of volume coming back in, and it looked like it was kind of failing off VWAP. I didn't have anything to add. I was all in, full size. And then it did this, and I was like, it kind of consolidated over VWAP. I was like, if this thing spikes up at all, I'm getting out. Spikes up, I'm out immediately. Drop. I had to walk away after that because
I had my phone. I was outside and my phone beeped that an order went through or whatever, and I pull up my phone, I'm looking, I'm like, damn, top tick exit. And then the next 10 minutes I'm seeing it fade off, and I see it break below VWAP, and I'm like, damn, it's seriously about to fade the rest of the day. Of course it didn't, but still sucked.
Man, I mean, and that's why I always like to walk off when stuff like that happens, because I'm liable to start trying to get back into this thing, and then it would have ripped me in, again.
Yep.
But that's that. That's some losers for you, some lost porn.
People love that stuff. Oh, I'm gonna show a winner though, and I'm gonna make this one quick because this isn't something I normally do. I've been pretty loud and clear, adamant that I don't short earnings winners. I don't like doing that. I know earnings can create gaps. I don't like shorting earning winners. There's certain things I don't like to short. Earnings winners is one of them. TO was an earnings winner, but the short story on TO is the earnings are probably fake.
Oh yeah,
it's a complete. This is the company that Hindenburg is. They're going back and forth. It's not regulated. It's not U.S. based. Who knows what's really going on here? All I knew is I had to take a short, and I was really just risking over this 190 area. It was, and I covered pretty quick because, as you can see, the previous close, it wasn't up a lot, so I didn't feel like there was a lot of meat on the bone, so to speak. So this was just a little, like I was risking a little over 10 cents, and it turned out to be a solid trade. I ain't mad about it. But yeah, I don't normally short earnings winners. But I think this thing ended up closing red on the day. Is what it is, kind of a pike, if you will. But I followed my plan. I wasn't mad about it because it was kind of a nice little bonus. Finally made it in real time.
Happy to have you here, brother.
So yeah, normally I don't short earnings winners, but when earnings are fake, yeah, I'll take a shot. And then one other thing I want to show is, because we've shown this before, so I'm just going to show it again. Some people maybe get mad at stuff like this, but it's pretty obvious in my opinion. I also like this level on TO.
Yep.
I've said before, I don't really like levels where there's no volume. One obscure level with no volume, I don't get real excited. But when it's got multiple touches and some decent volume behind it, like I had to take a shot at it. So I took a shot at it, and you can see it respected that pretty well. I mean, obviously you can see it did go much lower from my short. So yeah, I guess you could say I piked it. But again, earnings winner. I wasn't willing to hold that long. And TO's been irrational before. I mean, TO shouldn't even be trading where it's trading. So it was kind of an in and out, just a little bonus trade. Normally don't ever short earnings winners, but TO is faking their earnings. I don't think they're real. So
Yeah, and I was kind of wondering about that when you took it that day. I didn't know what to think because I think I longed it the day before just with everything else that was running. I mean, just because not because I think they're good, but I didn't know what to
the
think.
setup's there. The setup's there. You know.
Yeah, I thought it was going to rip like it did that day in pre-market because I longed it the day before you shorted it. I thought it was going to rip, but
Are you going to show your IFBD trade next?
Yeah. I'll show.
Can I show mine first?
Yes.
Because yours is worlds better than mine.
And I still piked it.
So I want to show mine first because yours is just better. It's just way better. So first of all, we were all watching this in pre-market. Then our boy Jet said, "Hey man, that 60 area looks really good." And I'll show why here in a second. And he was dead right. It did look good. Perfect fucking call. And I even said in the room, I was like, I want to see what happens at 60. If it rejects 60, I'm going to enter. Rejected 60, and I entered. And this was still a great trade. Literally, I was risking a new high of day. I was risking like 5 cents per share, a new high. And because this is a China ticker, it is a subby play. Chinas are known to be scammy. I didn't want to overstay. I didn't want to mess with it. I was either going to be right or I was just going to be done. I wasn't going to keep trying. So this was a one shot all in, risking 5 cents a share, maybe, depending, I know it gets a little weird with the 0.5s and whatever. But anyway, this was a huge trade, like 3-1, 4-1, whatever, 25%, however you want to word it. But when it comes to risk reward or a percent gain or even P&L gain, this was really solid. And when I took my last exit, I was like, hell yeah, this was my best trade of the week. I was like, I had taken this, I had taken TO. It was a beautiful day outside. I was like, I'm out. Peace. And I was leaving, and then I ended up leaving for sure, because I did get a little tilted. And before you show your chart, I want to show one more thing on the daily. Because like I said, Jet called this perfect.
Jet was supposed to be on the show tonight, but he had to help someone move, he said.
Sounds made up. So he was looking at this 60 area, right? A couple touches, some nice resistance, nice level. Obviously, it worked out extremely well. I mean, and the gap stats are pretty solid too. It's had some solid, gaps above 20, closed below open, 83%. There was just a lot of things confluence-wise that made this look like a really good trade.
I will say that it looked like they had cash. And that's what me and Sam were talking about.
I never trust those China financials either.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing with me, man, is I was like, it's China. There's a reason it's under $1. And that's like what me and him were talking about, because he's saying he didn't take it because of that. It didn't look like there was any, like it looked like they had cash, no real dilution. And I was like, well,
you never know.
I mean, it's Chinese and it's under $1. So
we'll show yours because yours is worlds better than mine. This is part of the reason I left Thursday as well, left my desk, because I was like, I mean, but we were talking about this. I don't know when the last time we've seen a gap this huge. This was a big gap. And then it round tripped in the first 30 minutes.
What was it, 100%? Right there?
Damn near. Yep, right there.
Yeah, it was like, I think, it was like right at 100% after open. Then
I made 25% on it and thought I was just good to go.
Well, I mean, but your entry was higher than mine, so.
But I mean, I told you this too. I followed my plan. I literally was risking like a nickel, and I made 4 times that. Roughly. But anyway,
here's another good example of why I don't need to trade pre-market, even this close to open.
Dangerous, man. I hate it. Hate it.
Yeah, so like, man, I got in here when I saw it reject. I was thinking that was going to be it, and so I saw it reject there, kind of, and I started getting in, and then right into open, you know, it was holding over VWAP, bounced off of it, and
Damn, we really like fucked up in pre-market this week.
yeah, man, like this messed me up. This is what I was telling everybody in the room too, because I wasn't saying anything. Everybody was talking about 60, and I was like, damn it, I thought I was gonna be right, and like I was thinking, oh, everybody's about to miss this, and I'm gonna get it, and then it blows through that top, and I was like, oh, I'm out. And y'all were talking about 60 cents, and I watch it reject that level, and I was like, I was just deer in the headlights, man. I had no position, and I was like, I've got to get back in this. Like this is you know, that was the blow off candle.
And it was huge selling volume. I mean, this is massive selling volume.
It was
like this
nothing
is crazy.
but selling volume, man. It
Yeah,
was nothing.
the
but
level
selling.
2 was like you couldn't find a bid on that thing. It was nasty.
Yeah, so I just slammed it. I just all in, just right there, just slammed back into it, and I've got my little spots that I always take profits at. So I'm start taking off like half here, and then I just started hitting the ask here, just getting out, and I was like, oh man, yeah, I about bottom ticked it. I saw that little green candle, and then it faded off even harder.
This thing went red.
Yeah, man, it went red on that was like
this happened in 30 minutes. I mean, I don't know the last time I've seen 100% gapper die within the first 30 minutes of open. This is, shit.
When I think I was on the phone with you the other day, and I was like, man, I hit that, and immediately my P&L was just going, like, when I have these up, I'm looking at my P&L because sometimes I mess up with my sizing on them, especially when it's quick like this, but I was like, man, my P&L is going up so fast. I was like, oh, I got to take some off. Kind of.
I mean, we both had a good trade on it. Like, this is what you and I talked on the phone about this yesterday. Like, it was a good trade for both of us, but it's just one of those things where it's like you just watch it melt down. But we followed our plan, whatever. But I mean, shit. What I think? What I told you, I was like, the one time, I left lotto size on us that AXLA on Tuesday, right? Stopped me out. I don't leave lotto size on something, and then it freaking goes red on the day from 100% gap. Like, that's trading. Welcome to trading. So easy.
You have to. I think it's just you have to do the same thing every time.
That's why I usually follow. I don't usually leave trailers. I don't usually leave lotto size. I usually I have a stop. I have targets, and I usually follow that plan. And I shouldn't be mad about this because I follow my plan verbatim. I mean, I got in where I got in. I got out where I wanted to get out. And it happened within 10 minutes. And I love trades that happen quick. Like, I'm all about instant resolution and being done trading by 10, 11 o'clock our time. That's my shit. I love it. So I shouldn't be mad about it. But when you watch something fade an additional 60% from your last exit, you're a little tilted. And I left that day because I remember watching things like ICCT, watching these other random tickers, like, how can I make that back? And that's the worst freaking mindset. So I was like, I'm done. I just need to walk away because I was going to trade stuff that I didn't need to trade to try to make money back. And I would have probably gave back everything.
Yep, that's how it usually works with me.
I just walked. However, I did. Did you see this?
Oh, yeah, that was sick.
So really, I didn't get all out. This was my last exit right here. Haters will say it's fake. If you don't believe me, you're obviously a hater. I mean, I got out one share here, one share here, one share here, all out right there. Obviously, because we knew it was going there.
Exactly.
I mean, shit. I wish.
And if you don't believe him,
you're a hater.
And we're going to block you.
I will block you immediately. With no questions asked. Ask sellers how to join my Discord. Contact sellers.
That's right. Contact me. I'll give you the pricing information.
Anyway. All right. Let me see. I don't think I have any more tickers
We're
I know
coming up
you-
on an hour.
We are. And I know you have one more thing you wanted to show. So I was going to let you. Some of these I want to turn on my PC and come back to cover the quote. Right. So I tried that on AXLA, right? I set a range order. And obviously, you could see it didn't work out, of course. But I do love range orders because I don't like to watch every single tick because that can, drive you crazy, at least me. So, yeah, I do love range orders.
Hey, here's a good. I'll show one. This was my best trade this week, and one of my biggest trades this month. And I really wanted to show it. Because I was proud of this one. Partially just because I got super lucky with the entry, and it was GDC, which is also a Chinese ticker. So
this was, I remember you. Yeah, this was a good one. It's a really good one.
What was so cool about this one was the way how I got filled on the top of that candle. Haters will say it's fake.
Haters will say it's fake.
No,
and you covered the bottom. Well, you covered about the bottom at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have covered it all right there, but I thought it might even go lower. But then I was just trying to get all of it out on like as many little drop pieces as I could, without just hitting it and getting filled at the top of a candle, whatever. At the end, it was an awesome trade.
Oh, that's ridiculous right there. That's picture perfect. That's the type of thing you put on your fridge, as they say.
Yeah, man, this was like probably my best trade all month. Like it was pretty.
And see,
pretty big
if we didn't
P&L.
trade China tickers, where would we be? My
man.
best trade this week was a China ticker. Your best trade this week and month was a China ticker.
Yep.
But
I trade
don't
them all the time.
trade China.
Anyway, that's kind of what I did is like, it's sometimes hard for me not to take profit there, but
I definitely would have. That's the type of shit I struggle with, is that right there.
I was ready for it to come back on me. But after I saw this, I was holding it till the end of the day.
Yeah, and actually now that I'm thinking, like looking at it, the VWAP rejections both times it got up into VWAP, that's a great sign of, weakness. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so I was fairly confident with that. I love that trade. I was super happy with it. But anyway, aside from that, something I wanted to talk about. So like recently, I had somebody in our chat hit me up, and they were like, "Hey, because I trade the funded futures accounts too. I just do it kind of on the side. I've talked about it before. I'm not great at trading futures, but I think it's a good way to make some more money. Pull some more money out of the markets if you can.
And you've gotten payouts out of it too.
Yep. I've gotten a few payouts. So yeah, Apex Trader Funding. It's totally legit. Anybody that says it's fake, I'll show you where they sent me money in my bank account.
Right.
But anyway, somebody was like, "Hey, do you know of any online prop firms that fund small cap traders?" And I was like, "No, man. I've looked for them before. In the past when I was really struggling to, I couldn't fund an account or didn't have enough money to fund one. Whatever. I wish I knew of one." I was like, "That's a really good idea, though. Somebody needs to do that." Well, later on that night, I just was at my computer. I just started Googling it, looking, and I found one. It's man, it sounded too good to be true. It was, they had a pretty decent profit split. The interface looks good, like the platform and everything. It's pretty decently priced.
Should put the link in the comments so people can look at it, because we can put that up there.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the comments. It's called Trade the Pool.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. And that's what I was gonna say is I got one little account. I got like the cheapest one just to try it, and I was like, man, like this is gonna be easy for me to pass. And so I went ahead and got the next step up, like a little bigger account. So I got two of them now, and man, it
And you already passed the eval, did you?
Yeah, I passed it. It wasn't as hard to manage the risk as I thought it would be.
So this is new for both of us. He just passed his eval. I'm gonna sign up for one this weekend to try it. I'm gonna do the $300 one. I'm gonna see what happens. I mean, we're not ones to like push shit if we. So just, I used to be affiliated with Trade Zero. I hated Trade Zero, and I will never recommend them again. I don't care if they pay me $1,000 a person. Like I think they're horrible.
Yeah,
So
that's what.
trade, what is
Yeah,
it called? Trade the
pool.
pool. Yeah.
And
So like, if they end up being awesome, then we'll tell you they're awesome. But if they're not, like, we'll tell you they're not. Like, if we end up getting to the point where we should get payouts and don't get payouts, I'm gonna let people know we didn't get payouts.
oh, dude, 100%. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for
I mean,
future.
and that does make it easier. But I have the 50Ks with them. Oh man,
CP is in Canada now. Centerpoint.
yeah,
I think they just opened up a branch in Canada because a lot of Canadian guys that we know and trade full time, they have all switched to Centerpoint, and they've already been saying on Twitter that their locates are worlds better than Trade Zero. Of course, executions, you get DOS. Check them. I mean, I would definitely check that out.
yeah, man. Like, you can't beat the DOS interface. Like, I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess you mean Chris Verma.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Nigel switched to Centerpoint. A lot of Canadian guys jumped on Centerpoint like ASAP.
yeah, man. That'll be nice.
Yep.
Oh,
But we're gonna try out this trade the pool. Like I said, you've already passed your eval. I'm gonna start my eval next week. I'm gonna do the $300 one, and I'm gonna see what happens. If I can make some side money just mirroring my trades with some extra capital, then great.
Yeah, and me and Thiz were talking about it earlier. You know, he's a big trader, and he was like, man, I'm gonna sign up for this and try it out. Why not? Like, if you can make money with it. And that's why, I was hesitant to post it on Twitter because I was like, I'm probably gonna get some hate for this. People are gonna say, oh, are you pushing something shitty? And I'm like, hey, look, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll let you know.
But the biggest thing about it is, not only can you get funded, with a small amount of capital, but there's no PDT, and the biggest part of it is you don't pay for locates.
Yeah, because we've said before, like with I think the hot thing right now is futures, and a lot of people flock to these option furus that post these bullshit Webull screenshots. You know how I love those, but there's no entry to barrier for stuff like that. For futures, funded futures, options, there's no PDT. You don't need a lot of capital. But if you really want to trade small caps in the US, if you're under PDT, it sucks. And this is kind of a way around that. Yes, we both use Cobra, but Cobra's our main broker, but we use DOS.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you mean. I don't know if Cobra has their own software. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm not sure about that.
Welcome back to Small Cap, Brady.
Yeah, I remember Brady he sent me where he tried to trade that IPO. I did too. I traded it with one of the little funded accounts though.
I didn't post TTP via Twitter because I wanted to get paid out first before telling people. Yeah, you might be right. Like maybe I don't know. We're gonna find out because he's already passed his eval, so he's gonna find out real quick whether he's gonna get paid or not.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like if it doesn't work, if for some reason it's a total scam or something, then I'll let everybody know and I'll be like, hey, I'm a dumbass. Don't listen to me. Whatever. But from what I can tell, it looks pretty legit. They have a huge inventory of informational videos on YouTube,
which you gotta watch because they have some rules that are.
Yeah, I mean it's
designed for you to lose, obviously, just like the funded futures. It's
exactly,
the same thing. It's designed for people to lose.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and that's kind of the thing is like if they're looking at people that have probably blown up, don't have any more money, and they're like, I still want to trade.
Or they can't pass the eval, so they just keep paying for the eval. Or once they get funded, they go all in and blow that shit in like 3 or 4 days because it ain't their money. So,
Let's see here.
Oh shit, go ahead. I don't know that that's a bad thing.
I mean, they had ADTX yesterday, and they had SQL. And I mean, they had EDBL today. I mean, I don't think that's China, but I'll show you. Let's see here. So,
from what we found, just checking it out and messing with the platform, is it looked like they catered a lot to the small cap trader. Like,
and this is a fairly new thing from what I can tell. Yeah, that's EDBL. I couldn't locate shares for this.
Cobra, yeah.
And that you could short it right away with them. I shorted it here, and I was doing it. You can set your stop loss automatically, and so that's what I did. I think I lost like, I don't know. I went kind of small, just like $100 or $200. So this was today. I hit it here, stopped, hit it there on what I thought was a rejection, got stopped. I mean, that thing was nasty. That was a crazy move. I'm glad I didn't have shares.
True.
But yeah, they had it. I mean, you could short it there. I mean, you don't pay for the borrow. It's pretty nice. They also had that one that Brady was talking about.
Yeah, this is what we talked about too. I mean, it doesn't seem like you pay for locates or the hard to borrows, but there's a profit split depending on which plan you get. So it's like, yeah, you're not paying locates, but you have a profit split. So it's kind of pros and cons. But so we're gonna try it out and we're gonna find out.
Yeah, I mean, if I told y'all what I've paid this year in locates, and I mean, it's way better than like Trade Zero or something, but I've paid an astronomical amount of money in locate fees this year. Like it's gonna cut into my profit, you know.
Oh yeah, it's a business expense. It's expensive as shit.
It's a big business expense. Yeah, I mean, I could buy a really nice car with not a really nice car, but like a pretty decent used car with what I've paid for locates this year.
Oh yeah, somebody asked me, they were like, do you pay more in locates or commissions? And I was like, locates, 100%.
Oh hell yeah.
Plus I use the rebate route when I can. That helps with the commissions and all that. But yeah, borrows, I mean, you can't get rebates on borrows. Sometimes you get lucky and they're free or super cheap, but
I was telling y'all the other day, I don't remember what it was like. It started with a K. It was like 2 years ago. I was trading with Trade Zero.
You told me that.
And I used to, I mean, I'd be banging out big old size, like a whole account size on a trade at this point. And I remember one time I shorted this one. I can't remember what the ticker was. It started with a K, but I think I made like $5,700 on the trade and paid like $6,000 in locates.
So it's funny it's funny he says that, because like that's what we want to do. Like, we're gonna do a couple of videos in the near future, like how this goes for us. Like, is it legit? Are we getting payouts? How's the platform? How are the executions? That's going to be major. If we're doing this and we can't get executed on a real account, like if we're just not getting executed, I don't care how cheap it is or how this, that, or the other. If you can't get executed, like, it doesn't matter. So I mean, we're going to definitely talk about it.
This was that big runner from today, UPDT or whatever it was. It was a SPAC, and it broke out of the all-time high, and then it looked like it failed. And so, man, I shorted this on there. I was just shorting the bid, and then it halted down, and I took a good bit off, and I tried to add back in. Got stopped out partial here, and then stopped out all the way there, and gave back a little more than half of what I had made on it. But
you got to put the link in the comments so they can check it out.
Yeah, I'm about to put it in there right now.
Because the website does show a lot of information. It shows all the different options and splits and this, that, and the other. Like I said, I'm gonna try it. I'm doing the $300 one. It's $300. Like, if I can double, triple, quadruple, 10 times my money, which would be phenomenal, off $300, awesome. If I don't, I'm gonna let the world know.
Yep, exactly.
They probably wasn't TP. I don't think, anyways. Yeah. So I know you're still on the eval because you just got yours. I'm curious if when we get the funded accounts, how the executions will be. But this is things we're gonna find out. So there it is. Check it out. Explains everything. Like you said, it's got. I started watching some of the YouTube videos because it has a lot of little weird rules and nuances and things like that. It's basically just from the way I interpret it, and you could elaborate more on this because you do futures funded and this. Like it's almost like you can't rando gamble, YOLO the account, and expect to make money. It just ain't gonna happen.
Well, I mean, that's the same way it is with futures, man. Like,
Right.
I've had several guys that I, showed the futures and stuff, but there was somebody that was, they had hit like a big ass trade on futures through like some kind of, like one of these,
Probably
big,
a Fed event or something like that.
Yeah, some big Fed event or whatever, and yeah, it is expensive. I mean,
so we talked about this too. Like if we start with the $100 or $300 one and it does work and we do get payouts, then we would go up. But I damn sure out the gate, I ain't gonna jump on that 1240 one. I'm gonna start with the $300 one and see how that goes. And if we find that it's legit and we're getting paid, then hell yeah, I would pay for the more expensive one. Absolutely, if it works out.
Yeah, I mean, man, like if you're a good trader, like if you actually can make money trading, then why not do this? Because
that's how I feel about it,
man. And it was like even my first time trading them, I was just like, man, this is like a lot less stress. I'm much more confident just smacking stuff with a little bit more size than I would.
And you passed the eval in a day.
Yeah.
So now you're going to be trading funded. So he'll find out before anybody how that works.
Yeah.
And yes, we are going to do some future videos on this stuff because this could be great, but we're going to find out.
Yeah, man. I mean, and like I said, I'll be totally transparent with you all about it. I don't have anything to hide.
Dude, if I don't get payouts, I'm going to be pissed and I'm going to tell the world.
Oh, yeah. I'll be on Twitter being like, hey,
pay me.
You better pay me because, this, you're lying.
I'm going to tell my 600 followers that y'all ain't paying out. I'm just kidding. Thing with $300 kind of you lose. Right. Yep. So that's, yes, you're 100% right. But that for me, I
don't see what's wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because I don't ever go all in. I usually trade with less than 10% of my account on any one trade. So for me to have a $700 loss on a singular trade is fairly rare. It's happened, but it's fairly rare. And if I lose that much, even on my real account, I'm not going to stop trading, but I mean, yeah, so I'm going to have to play this one a little more conservatively. But I'm 700 in a day. I'm going to do it. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. We're going to see how it plays out.
I mean, it's not like I make like $10,000 every day trading. I go for, even if I hold something all day, like I might have like a big $6,000 win, but if I can make like $1,500, shit, that's plenty of money, man. I mean,
we've talked about that a lot, and I know we're like well over our normal hour, but the one thing that pisses me off more than anything on FinTwit is like just the distorted reality of trading. It goes both directions. Like these obviously fake bullshit charts, Webull percentage gains from these option gurus. You probably know who I'm talking about. I hate that shit. ODTs, rando gamble on 15 different ODTE contracts. They show the one that works. They don't, we know that. The other thing I hate about Twitter is it's like people show these massive P&Ls. Like if you're not doing that, then you're not good, or it doesn't matter, right? Like I think the distorted realities on Twitter go both ways. And I mean, we've talked about it you and I talk about it all the time. Like real world money, like $1,000 real world money is pretty fucking solid. And if you can do that a few times a week, let that add up over the course of a month. I mean, some guys posted their calendars today, and when you see them make $700-800 a day, like, whatever. But then when you see what that comes to at the end of a month, and they have like a 10-15K month, you're like, oh shit, that's pretty serious.
Exactly, man. I mean,
And it's like, it's just so distorted, man. That's why I hate Twitter so much.
it is. There's a lot of liars, but
and I'm not saying you can't make a ton of money trading. You can also lose a ton of money trading, but damn, like if we make $1,500 in a day, or like you said, 6,000, like that goes for us a long way. It ain't like
I don't usually make 6,000 in a day, but like
same.
Every now and then, we have days like that. Every now and then.
I think my last big win like that was probably in June. I didn't trade much of July or August, but I mean, the bank stocks, they provided amazing opportunities. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to go on a tangent, but anyway,
just for example, I mean, two guys we know, one being Thiz, he's made a lot of money trading. Another one of my buddies who's not on Twitter, Charles, he's in our room. I mean,
that's a fucking nice day. And that's
he
one of his accounts. Yeah. That's just one of his accounts.
Oh, he's got several big accounts. He's got an account with Centerpoint, Trade Zero. He also uses Thinkorswim.
But what if you did that right there 3 times a week?
I mean, he's a millionaire. He's my age and he's a millionaire, and he's not on Twitter, and he's totally cool with this. That's plenty of money.
I think Thiz showed his equity graph, and he's never had any crazy like straight ups, right? It's just slow progression over time. He had some nice parabolic-esque moves, but nothing just, it was just over time. Like, I don't know. People get so caught up in the moment and the bullshit and whatever. Twitter sucks. There's some good in it. Obviously, we met via Twitter or Discord or whatever, but
yeah.
For the most part, it's just 99% bullshit. All these Discord rooms and guys posting 1,000% option gains, and you can edit shit so easy, man. It's not hard. Anyway, whatever. We're well over an hour. I know we did Labor Day weekend and shit, and my wedding anniversaries and Labor Day and whatever. Yeah. Do you have the link for that?
Yep, I got the link for it.
It is open.
It is.
We just, I mean, we ain't laying out like, here is exactly what we're trading, the criteria. We're not laying out exacto type of things, but we'll call stuff. We'll talk about stuff like today we talked about, or yesterday we talked about IFBD, and it was 3 or 4 of us collaborating about that particular stock, and that was a fucking banger. Like,
that's how it's just like a group of buddies and
sharing ideas,
yeah,
or losses.
And there's some days where I'll be like, hey, I'm along this. This is what I'm going for, and this is where I would stop out at.
Yeah, it ain't no alert room. I don't. It ain't that.
Oh yeah, we don't do the alert room thing, but like I will share my ideas and sometimes give an idea of where I would stop at and an idea of what I'm looking for. But
we try to be helpful in the most constructive and, I don't know, to try to create some sort of sense of self-sustainability. I think alert rooms are absolute shit, personally. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, once you get the link in there, we'll share it, then we'll wrap this up. 'Cause I know we're well over an hour, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, here, let's see here.
And if you weren't here at the beginning for my Mulan video showcase, you either got to rewatch this back in the first 10 minutes, or you got to Google the Mulan Fox Business thing that happened yesterday, because it is an absolute train wreck of an interview, and it is hilarious.
I love it. It was funny. God, definitely rewatch that. There's the link for anybody interested. Like we said, I always say this in every little episode we do. Anybody that joins us for this, watches the videos, we'd love to have you in there.
Yeah, well, there's some good traders in there too, man.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like really good traders, you know, big ass traders like this, Charles, you know, bunch of guys.
All
Hey,
good, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
We'll probably see you in there Tuesday. I don't think I'll be in there much for then. Wife would kill me. I got shit to do this weekend.
I'll just be posting random bullshit.
I might. We're going to the casino. So if I post a nice fat win on the casino floor, that was me.
That's right. I hope you
All
do.
right.
I hope you win.
Hell yeah. I'd love to win a nice chunk of change. And, you know, I might not trade for the rest of the year if it was a real big chunk of change, but that ain't going to happen. We've never left this casino with like a big, hell, I think the most we've won on a single go is like $500. But anyway, you never know.
That's right. You never know.
All right. Well, we are over an hour. We had a lot to talk about. We're going to keep people updated on this trade the pool thing, and we're going to do some stuff with your futures and actually do content again. I took a long ass break for a long time, but I'm going to be better. Thanks, man. I absolutely will. Appreciate you. Y'all have a great weekend. Appreciate all y'all.
Thank y'all so much. We appreciate it.
Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Damn the markets being open on Monday. Let the markets stay closed. I think the new thing people are saying is like, go touch grass. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, go touch grass. Whatever that been. I don't know. But anyway, enjoy your time. Enjoy your holiday. We'll do this again next week. Keep people posted on Trade the Pool. All the usual shit.
That's right.
All right, brother. Well, I'm sure I'll holler at you this weekend. Again, appreciate everybody. The old like, subscribe, share. Obviously, we're not good at this, but appreciate y'all that checked it out.
Oh yeah. Thank y'all.
All right, brother. I'll holler at you. I'm sure I'll talk to you this weekend. Appreciate you, Marvin. Oh, was that the last one? That was the last one. All right. I'm gonna do the outro thing. Start the holiday weekend. Start the wedding anniversary. Peace.
Peace.